Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer. Welcome to Tank Radio! I'm Frank, KG5HJ, and what's going on there? Woo! What is up? Man, it's been a great weekend. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and we got a special guest coming on tonight. I'm so looking forward to this and talking about a topic I like, NASA, and we're going to be talking about the space station. I am so looking forward to this. But some things going on my channel. I have a Patreon. I have a Patreon page. You can go over there and help support me and grow the channel. It's patreon.com/tankradio. Boom, it's in the chat. And then also live right now, since we are live, you can also buy me a beer. Well, you don't have to buy me a beer right now, but buy me a beer anytime. But buy me a beer link is in the chat there. So go ahead and drop that, and then you'll see your name popping up on the screen. But without any further ado, let me bring my special guest on. Rhea, how's it going? How are you doing?
Hello, Frank. Welcome to Rias and Frank Radio.
I love it. I love it. So did you have a good Thanksgiving with the family?
Yeah, we had a very uneventful Thanksgiving. It was pretty low key, but it was good. Low key is always good. Better than having turkey fryer accidents and stuff like that, which I've never had. But it's kind of I usually do. I didn't do this year. We didn't do turkey this year. We actually did a roast. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's kind of like, we let's see here. The usual stuff. Thanksgiving really is low key here, Mm-hmm. I generally don't. Yeah.
I have two family sets. I did both of those, and I played some board games. We played Settlers of Catan. I love board games. That is one of my passions. Yeah, COVID's killed a lot of that, but we're not talking about that news. But I also got out to a park or two. I think there was a lot of activators this weekend, activating POTUS sites. And even on Thanksgiving Day, I lit up my smoker and I made stuffed jalapenos and I smoked them in my smoker, bacon wrapped stuffed jalapenos. And while I was sitting out there, I did set up my POTA rig. And I saw some stations out there, but I only made one contact. It was kind of hard. It's much easier, when they're hunting for you. But when I only have 20 watts on that G90 to get out, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. But
yeah, well, I believe it or not, I've never done a POTA.
Never.
I plan to. I've never done one, believe it or not. But I have operated from parks before. And Andrea, who was, who's going to come on in a future show, I'm guessing. We went with the rover up in High Point State Park, and they gave us all sorts of static about those big antennas are not allowed here and all sorts of stuff. We didn't even have any antennas outside the vehicle, but they were kind of like grumpy. Yeah, the park rangers sometimes.
Sometimes you got to ask the rangers if it's okay to operate. If they say no, that's cool. A good fallback is just ham sticks on the top of your car or vehicle. And that's a great way to get out from a park when you can't throw a tree up in the or throw an antenna up in the tree.
Throw a tree. Frank is going to use his tank and throw a tree.
That's what I got the tank for. I make my own room. Cool. Well, are you over there by Don Izzo? He can take you out and do a POTA.
Don's a couple hours for me. Okay. I might. So here's the thing. My brother lives near to Don. My brother's actually he's stationed at Groton, Connecticut. Groton, the sub base there. So he is. When I go to visit him, I could probably stop over by Don.
Oh, he will take you out in a heartbeat and show you how it's done. He does that very frequently. But today's topic though is contacting the International Space Station. Oh, I'm so excited.
Right. So let me preface this by saying that, I I'm going to talk about a few specific things regarding a local project we have here. Interesting stuff. So I'm going to blend that in. But I'm going to tell you guys about the cool work that ARIS, the Amateur Radio on the International Space Station, a group, do to get kids in touch with space. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah. So I don't know what you, I don't know. You want to start, or you want to ask me some questions or something, or?
Well, you said it was a local chapter in your area that contact the International Space Station for the kids and to get them interested in like amateur radio, right?
So let me back this up then. Okay.
Okay,
So let's talk about the charter school.
Yeah.
The there is a in my county, in Sussex County, New Jersey, there is a local charter school called the Sussex County Charter School for Technology. I was invited by the teacher, a science teacher there, Mrs. DiCaprio, who was she's trying to get kids involved in the amateur radio program. Her husband used to be a ham, and then he got he just recently got back his license, and she got her license too. I forgot a call sign, but she recently got her license too, and she is now, getting everything ready for the kids. So I went and I did a talk there. I did a demonstration with some SDRs. We did my local club, Sussex County Amateur Radio Club. We also sent a few people there to demonstrate and set up a few things. Also, they have a contact scheduled with the space station in February, which is what we're going to talk about in a short bit. So they also had a STEM summer camp, and the STEM summer camp basically was a radio summer camp. So they had exercise with building radios. I could show you a few pictures if you want.
Oh, please.
Yeah. So these pictures actually, you have to be careful with kids, but these are officially sanctioned pictures that the school published, right? So they basically, they have the electrical circuitry basics. They had kids there doing electrical experiments, right? And you have, they did circuit components as well too. Now, one of these students here is actually a, he's at the local technical school, right? I believe it's either a technical high school or community college, or trade school. But he's there and he's helping them out. They learn about conductors versus insulators and electrical basics. So this is where the local club, Kelly Levitt, KE2L, he's the president of the Sussex County Amateur Radio Club. He demonstrates the use of Morse code, right? Which I guess is a staple for amateur radio. Kids learn about Morse code. Okay, that's cool. Then we went outside. They made a tape measure Yagi, and
those are fun.
They were doing fox hunting. Okay, so we had Fred Kemmerer, AB10C, come down from New Hampshire. He's with the Nashua Area Radio Club, and he came down to help out with some of this stuff. And so, they were doing the fox hunting here. And then Fred set up his Flex Radio remotely and connected. And I had my Flex Radio remotely too, and we kind of made a contact remotely, which was kind of cool. Then they were taught about coils and electromagnets and such like that. You did that when you're a kid, right? You learned that in science class about electromagnets and stuff. Then they worked some DX. They talked to Italy, Denmark, Indonesia, Northern Ireland.
Did y'all set those up ahead of time, or does that just happen to be on the air? All those stations?
No, they just call CQ.
Oh, that's so lucky to get those far reach contacts.
Well, I mean, on the East Coast, it's easier for us. So, down in Texas, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they made a pin with some maps and such like that. They learned about how to get a ham radio license, right? And this is where I come in. Here, I'm teaching them about drones, okay? So I went there. I didn't really go to teach them about ham radio. I went to teach them about drones. I taught them about, how to, what different applications of drones, and we did some test flights and such like that. And I also, you see down on the bottom here, I powered these with renewable energy. So I brought solar panels, and I brought some of the little the EcoFlow solar batteries, and I actually powered my whole drone flights with solar energy. So I was charging drone batteries while with solar power.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the kids do a lot of drone flights and such like that. I still owe them a drone reel. I have to finish editing their drone footage, but we circled the school and everything. I had the kids take the controls. And I was the remote pilot in command,
Mm-hmm.
and basically ensured that, they didn't hit anything. But the kids were very thrilled.
Uh-huh.
And this is a growing field. I wish Shane was on tonight, because it's a shame, because Shane is also a Part 107 drone pilot.
Yes.
And Shane's also a manned aircraft pilot, Part 61. So
he wants to start looking into air balloons too. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, so we actually did a lot of the drone stuff there as an application of radio. They did power lines, Electropolis. They actually demonstrated power lines, Morse code Wheel of Fortune. And, they did solar energy. Of course, part of my demo was also solar energy, and I was running 100 watts into my solar battery pack, and then, using that to power the drone, to recharge drone batteries and such.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you have Fred here again on the right, and then on the left, you have Vince Colella, who doesn't like fame, but Vince is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And Vince is kind of, Vince is like, look, I'm just in this for the kids, I just want to see the kids do good stuff. And he does with his thick Jersey accent,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But those people, we got to hold up and put them on a pedestal, because they need to be congratulated, and because they do
Vince,
a lot for us.
Yeah, I think the biggest reward for Vince is seeing these kids, get interested in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince is a good friend. So yeah, they brought out a KX3 and they were making contacts. And I was there in the background just looking silly. And then we come to the ARIS contact. So let me stop sharing. I'll tell you how this works. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So ARIS is the Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. They are a group. They're kind of an independent group that partners with the ARRL and other societies. So, the ARRL and others kind of formed this group together to manage the educational STEM and amateur radio initiatives on the International Space Station. So they take care of all the amateur radios. They take care of, getting the school contacts, because right now, the International Space Station, what they do is they schedule contacts with schools, right? And what they do is they get a window of time with that pass of the space station, because satellites work in passes.
Yeah.
They will then talk to the schools. So schools submit a proposal to ARIS, and then what happens is that ARIS now will look and see if the proposal has good impact, and if they could do stuff, and then they set up the technical details. So there are two ways to do the contact itself.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is that you actually have the station in the school grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hands-on, and the kids are talking through the radios directly. This is the preferred method in a lot of cases, because it gets the kids hands-on with radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other method, and this is a fallback to the first method, is that they have a ground station somewhere on planet Earth, right? Because duh. And then they have a telebridge. So what happens is you have probably a Zoom call or a telephone call or something that actually connects that station to the kids there locally. So this way, you don't have to worry too much about satellite passes, and such. And then if the equipment fails, you have this as a backup. So it's pretty good. And Fred, AB10C, is one of the ground stations, so he'll be helping us with that. So yeah, so that's what they do. And they have to schedule this ahead of time, because the astronauts are doing a lot of serious science up there. Okay, they're not playing around, and their time is very limited, and it's very expensive too. So we have to work around their schedule, but you know what? They always do it for the kids. They always like to do it for the kids. So I think, that's a great thing.
That sounds awesome. And having that fallback bridge, I guess that's a good thing to have because there's a lot of complications trying to do it direct and tracking. Because I've known that since trying to do my own satellite contacts, having that antenna
Yeah.
pointed and tracking at the correct rate to get
So
that.
if I may share another website, if you don't
Yes.
mind. Okay. And so I'll give you an overview. Amateur radio on the International Space Station. Just look at all this, and you get these kids so excited about space.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forget the naysayers who say that how we shouldn't market amateur radio to kids. This isn't really about amateur radio. This is about getting kids interested in science and technology because we want them to be the future. So of science and technology. So like you can host an ARIS contact in the USA and, you do the proposals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I explained, they have a whole process. It's voice only, it's not video, right? They and they have a whole guide and such like that. And you must have organization that'll draw a large number of participants. So, and you must have an educational plan. So Sussex Charter was good because you had a teacher, you still have a teacher who is definitely engaged with the students in terms of getting them, involved in the science program. So they're definitely engaged in STEM. And the good thing is that she got her license. They have a club call sign now. I forgot what it was too, but they have a club call sign. I facilitated that for them with ARRL.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get a station built. So we're looking to get a grant to build a station, get them some antennas and such like that. And, so we're going to have some regular involvement from the local clubs. I'll probably be there, to help out now and again, because, I like to help out these kids and, and show people and stuff like that. They're middle schoolers, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're middle schoolers. So, so yeah, but they have a teacher there who could do it. And I benefited personally from a school radio club. That's how I got involved in amateur radio. So I think it's, it's a good avenue. But yeah, so they have a lot of, a lot of requirements and such like that. And, not everybody will be accepted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But large numbers are. And, there are different, like I mentioned, the two types of contacts. They give you all sorts of things like lessons plans and videos and even balloons. You talk about Shane is doing balloons, but he's probably talking about hot air balloons.
Mm-hmm.
These are like, balloons they launch like balloons that go up into space and such like that.
Mm-hmm.
and do telemetry and
use sometimes repeaters and the APRS speaking on them. I also saw on that website there was a donation button. If y'all want to out there want to go ahead and donate to this, there's a donation button on that webpage. I put the link in the chat, and also I'm going to put it up there in the description after the video.
Yeah. So yeah, and I believe they give you $100 if you make $100 donation, you get a challenge coin. And even if you don't want to spend any money, you can select them as a charity on Amazon Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They take donations through Amazon Smile. So as you're dealing with all your Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Cyber Week and whatever thing, you're buying for the holidays, you could support Amateur Radio Space Station. And the important thing is that they are a 501c3, so they are tax deductible. All your donations are tax deductible.
Nice. I like that. Well, awesome. That man, you pretty much covered all the bases. I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to come up with good questions, but I think you answered a lot of them. So the official contact, I thought it happened already, but it's going to be happening. You said in February.
Yeah, so they make contact with schools all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and you could actually see they have some of them on YouTube, I believe, on their YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But if I find I know some people give me YouTube links, but pretty much so I used to be involved in the ARIS community in ARRL,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of shifted away from that because I got a little too busy with things, and the committee was kind of like they had a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I got involved in that. And then let me see. But they always send us press releases and stuff of contacts that took place and that are going to take place. So,
Oh, those are pretty
yeah.
cool. Do they publish those ahead of time so that other stations can try to listen if they're in the area to see if they can hear the traffic or that?
Yeah, it's always listed on the website. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they have them on the website and they publish them ahead of time. And then sometimes you might find like the schools themselves would say, that they're going to have a contact. Like for example, Just Sussex Charter
Mm-hmm.
says that they're going to have a contact. So you could go on and uh, you know, they try to drum up some local press. The other thing that I didn't mention, but that is equally important, like this is a charter school,
Mm-hmm.
so they kind of have to, show the local, I guess it's the county commissioners, and that they're doing good work to justify their existence, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and such. Which they have no problem doing that, by the way. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I work with these kids; they're very smart kids, and I think they're doing a lot of good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we have this charter school, but we also have trade schools, technical schools up here too. So any path you want to go to, you want to do science and technology, or you want to learn a trade like be an electrician or something like that, we have a lot of education up here. So but doing things like this, will attract people. And then my friend John Hale, KD2LPM in Queens,
Mm-hmm.
he teaches at a private school called the Garden School.
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing. People think ham radio is an archaic hobby, that they're not, it's not with the times. And guess what? He shows the amateur station as a centerpiece to prospective students. And then what happens is the parents are like, wow, you have this advanced stuff. We want to send our kids here. Of course, our private schools cost a lot of money to send their kids there, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's kind of like, that's kind of unheard of, but we want to have more of that, where ham radio could be like a vehicle for STEM education to get parents interested in, and kids interested too. Parents interested in.
There's a lot of projects that you can do with amateur radio, building the radios, and it explains
Mhm.
a lot of the STEM concepts of especially how does an antenna work? Because I'm still trying to learn that on myself, and what parts are in the radio, and how this just the basic circuit diagrams and soldering and all this other fun interactive kid building things that kids love to do, and yeah, I think it'd be a great segue for a STEM. That's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe they'll be building future tanks in the future.
Yes, yes, and let me drive them.
Yeah, like whenever you come up here, that one of my neighbors, he doesn't have tanks,
Mm-hmm.
but another video I'm going to show you, it's full of tanks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm editing right now. There's a radio museum in
Mm-hmm.
in southern part of northern New Jersey, like central Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
that has a bunch of tanks and old warfare, and basically they used to be headquarters for the Signal Corps, right? They used to be a research lab for the U.S. Army Signal Corps, and they did a lot of research on radar and such like that, and it's really cool stuff. So I hope you watch that one when I
Oh,
publish it.
I will. At me. I will definitely retweet that, and I'll be there.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw you full screen for a minute, and just tell me what's going on your channel, what you want to promote, and anything else going on in your world. It's all yours.
Well, for me, let's see what's going on in my world. In my world, on my channel, I'm actually going to be having a bit of time off during the holidays. So I'm actually going to increase the frequency at which I publish videos, and I'm going to focus a little more on questions and answers rather than gear. Everybody has gear reviews and such like that. I have a few pieces of gear to review, but I'm going to be doing more questions and answers, how to set up, how to operate, and such like that. I have my Sunday live stream, Live with Ria, where I try to do a different topic every week. This last weekend, Sunday, I just took some questions from social media, but it was mainly to show that, there are some places on social media where you could get questions answered. And one of my groups that I'm admin of is ham radio / new to the hobby. We have a bunch of Q&A. I'm also talking about other radio services like GMRS and MERS. So, it's not just ham radio, right? I like all radio. And you know what? I'm at 8.5K subscribers, so I'm hoping to bump that up a little bit soon. But, we see how it goes, And of course, don't forget to hit that like button for Frank, because I think Frank's channel needs to
Yes.
grow a little more. He has a lot of content that is very entertaining.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you being on with me, especially sharing this story and what they're going to be doing with the contacting the space station and getting kids interested in STEM. That's always a question I see when Jason kind of hints at STEM or trying to get kids interested in ham radio, and it just. We don't really have a lot of talking points between me and him, but this was a great story, and links, everything that we looked at are going to be in below here. And thank you, Ria, for joining.
Well, thank you, Frank, for having me.
Awesome.
And we see you next time, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Dank Radio! Woo! I love it. Well, thank you all for joining and coming by. Coming up on my channel Thursday, I don't have anything Thursday, but Friday is going to be my game night, my Ham Fam game night. I'm going to be streaming over there on Twitch land, and we are just going to be playing some Jackbox games, light, fun, humor. We might hit on the radios, but if we don't, it's no big deal. We're just playing games together, enjoying the evening. Then after that, coming up next Monday is going to be a new video. See what's going to go on, because I'm still editing it. It's going to turn out great. I sure it's going to turn out great. We're all going to enjoy it. But in the meantime, to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer. Boom. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There's a link in the description below. Yeah. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. And we're out.